Well, hello everyone. I am excited to be back, and I am coming tonight with a topic that I believe it is so crucial in this hour, and that is the topic of transition. And I'm diving into knowing when your assignment is complete. How do you know? I've been running into many of you out on social media or in person, and you have shared with me a lot about what you've been going through just in life right now. And I'm hearing the words discontented, disgruntled. You're feeling like that you're undervalued. You're feeling like that you're having to prove your worth. And I want to tell you that I believe that what you're experiencing right now are just key indicators that your assignment it has ended, it's completed, and it's time for you to prepare for what is next. And that's the exciting part. Knowing that there is a major pivot that's on the horizon, knowing that you are in one season that's ending and another season is about to begin. But the thing is, you have to prepare for it. When you're in the midst of transition, it is so vital for you to understand that that is actually what you're going through. Because if you don't understand that, you can make decisions, you can do some knee-jerk reactions, you can do some things that would actually delay or hinder you from crossing over into that season. I am not of the school of thought that says that whatever God has for me is for me. I believe that we can absolutely hinder that next or hinder that promise if we are not prepared or not making the necessary course corrections that we have to where we currently are before we cross over into that. I also believe that we have a lot of examples that's playing out in front of us. There are many individuals that we see, and I'm going to use the term fall from grace. There are many people we are seeing who have had legacies for decades, it seemed like overnight that those things have been snatched away. And I believe it's because they have not properly prepared for the next season. I believe complacency has set in on some level, and a person got comfortable with who they were or used to be, or just were not making the necessary changes for growth. And because of that, they got lost in the next when the requirement was higher, when the demand was higher, when the elevation requires a lot more. Then I believe that people who are not prepared for that are going to experience a sure fall in the end. So let's talk about that. Let's go into how do you know when your assignment is complete. And I have this packaged up as a 3-part series because I do want to dive into how to make sure that you're adequately prepared for your next. Okay. With that being said, if this is your first time here, seeing me for the first time or visiting any of my social media pages, my name is Sherry Brewer, and I'm an image strategist and life coach, and I'm the founder of Refining Images, and I help women to elevate their image so they can access kingdom opportunities and increase their income and influence so that you all can have the best quality of life that God has planned out for you. With that being said, let's get into it. I have 12 indicators, but tonight we're just going to dive into 6 of those so that you can marinate and chew on those and determine if this actually is applicable to you. Not everybody's going through transition, but if this is for you, then it is for you. Number 1, it is you feel like there is a lack of purpose in your day-to-day. This is so huge. Because every day we need to have purpose to resonate within us in what we're doing. Every day won't be perfect. We're going to have some challenges some days, but we do need to know that what we are doing is something that is purposeful. When we get into situations where we have allowed ourselves to remain in a place where we're no longer called to be at anymore, or even worse, we could be somewhere where we were never called to be at in the first place. We could attach ourselves to an opportunity and we can feel excited at first. We feel like that because we have a talent for a thing or a gifting for a thing that it justifies us being there and doing that. But just because you can do something doesn't mean you're called to do it and do it there, okay? We can learn a plethora of talents and skill sets, but the only thing that matters is what we are truly called to in our kingdom purpose, what we are called to do in our lives, and are we called and connected to do that thing. I have been in a place where I started a job, and when I got there, it seems like literally every week, someone was walking out of the door with their box. And I'm like, what is going on here? And people just did not like it, but I actually had the peace of God when I was there. Peace is one of the indicators that I'm going to talk about on Thursday when I drop the next video. But I just want to let you know that you have to have a sense of purpose when you are in a place. It has to resonate. It has to make sense, because that may be the only thing that is holding you, the only glue that you have that is keeping your feet planted to the ground, or you fastened to the seat, because some days will be rocky, some days will be up and down, but purpose will keep you there. I see a lot of people who are grabbing a hold of things, the next big thing on social media. They are looking at some type of get rich scheme, or opportunity, I'm going to call it, or there's some master class that you can that's been presented to you that you can make the next $1 million. There's all this stuff that's out there. And you may say to yourself, you know what, this seems like a great opportunity. I think that I can do this. It looks like I'm seeing the fruit from this person's life and that they're doing well. I was actually talking to someone one day, and we were talking about higher education, and she was telling me about a program that she was in, and she was like, you know what? I'm going to change my program to X, Y, and Z. I said, why are you doing that? Because I just heard her cubicle mate, the person that sat across from her in the cubicle, had decided that that's the track that they were going to go on. And I was floored. I'm like, wait a minute. How do you just up and decide that you're going to change something because of something that you heard? But you know what? People do it every day, all the time. It is what you hear, it is what you're around, it's what you surround yourself with, and what you allow to seep within your soul that becomes you. And you have to really safeguard yourself out here in these streets, because before you know it, time has been eaten up. You are latched on to something that you were never called to do, and you are not even doing the thing that you're called to do. And this goes for how we stretch ourselves, especially as women. We are multifaceted for sure. And we're just not one dimensional. We have all these things that we can go do, and we want to go and be the top volunteer. We want to go serve the church. We want to go feed the needy. And all of these things are good, but are we doing the very thing that God has called for us to do? And that is what I want to take you back around to. You may have made the mistake of being in a place that you were not called to be at all, or you were called to be there, and it is simply time for you to go. And the environment has a way of pushing you out when it is time for you to go. There are just going to be some clear signs. Everything may have been coasting along just fine, but you look up and guess what? Things have been turned upside down, like many of you are telling me, and I believe that those are just strong indicators that your assignment has been completed. Even if you've made the error, or you just realize that I've served this position well, or served this place well, or person well, and it's time for me to go. Let me get on with it. Number 2 is you're not feeling like you are valued. This is a hot topic right now with many people that I know, feeling not valued, or feeling like you're undervalued, feeling like the contributions, your skill set, your intellect, who you are, that you're bringing to the table every day, you're working hard, and you're finding that it feels like that you're not appreciated, or it feels like that that's not even enough, or you're being overlooked. Maybe you're in a relationship and it feels like that no matter what you do, it's not enough for that person, or nothing will ever be good enough in that person's eyes. I believe that when you are experiencing this on a consistent basis, and it's the majority of the time that this is what's happening, you have to ask yourself, is my assignment complete here? Have I done all that I can do? Because one thing that we need to understand is that God said that our gifts will make room for us. That what our value is who we are. We are fruit-bearing people. We thrive off of what we can contribute to an environment. And if we are in a space where we can't be who we are, we can't give of ourselves and really thrive in that gifting and that talent, then trust and believe we're going to feel depleted, deflated, discouraged, and all the D's that you can think of. So I think that it's so important for us to recognize that when our values, when our what we call as value and what we contribute to any environment, whatever it is, if it's not appreciated or seen, or we're made to feel like we're invisible, we're constantly giving out our resume, we're trying to prove our worth, we're having to give down the laundry list, grocery list of what we've done in the past just to remind people of what we've done. That is just not what we're called to do. So that may be a huge indication, again, that your assignment is complete, because guess what? Where you're called to be, people are going to be overjoyed, excited about who you are. They're going to see you. They're going to absolutely adore and just be excited of the fact that you're even there. You're going to feel like a gift to where you're supposed to be, not a hindrance. Number 3 is you are feeling miserable and disgruntled most of the days. Your attitude, your disposition, your mindset is going to show exactly where you are in this. If you spend most of your days complaining or just rehearsing all the things that are wrong, if you feel like that there's nothing great is going on here in this relationship or whatever it is you're connected to, then that is a huge indicator that your body, your being is telling you, testifying to you every day that we do not like it here. Why are we still here? And so with that being said, you have to just accept that, my being, who I am, everything that's within me knows what I'm called to do. And I believe that when we stay, when we are in an expired environment and we have overstayed our welcome, or we're not called to be there, whatever it is, we're going to be the first person to give away. Our being will let us know. Let me tell you something. I have been in a couple of scenarios where it was time to go, and my disposition let me know, my inner being let me know, this is not the place for us anymore. I'm saying us. But this is not where you're called to be. You're going to know within. You're going to know that that you are not called to be in that place. You may intellectually tell yourself that, I'm getting this benefit, and I'm going to go into that here in just a second. But you may have a payoff. There may be something that you're receiving in that place, but really, inwardly, that you're not called to be there, and that assignment is complete. Number 4, there is a marked feeling of oppression, of feeling walled in, of feeling like there is a ceiling, of feeling like there are limitations when you are in a place that you are not called to be in, or you were supposed to be there, and now you're not. And I believe that one of the ways that God will let us know that your time is up here is He will cut off the ability for you to promote. Because we know that we are called to bear fruit. We're called to give forth out of our gifting in an environment. We're to grow, and we're to thrive, and we're to increase in stature. We're to increase in prominence. We're to increase in the capacity that God has called us to increase in. And when we are now stifled and limited, we cannot grow, something is wrong there. And I think about a plant that is not getting the water or the sun that it needs. It's not growing. But we all know that when something doesn't grow, it's going to be stifled. If something doesn't grow and is stifled, that it eventually will wither and die. So you may be feeling like that you are dying on the inside, that a piece of your soul is dying because, again, this place just doesn't feel right to you. You're feeling, again, the oppression. You're feeling like, you're being micromanaged. You're feeling like that no matter what you do, it's not working. Whatever that feeling is, pay attention to it. Don't make provision to live in that toxicity. Do not make provision to just say, I'm going to become complacent in this space, because guess what? Other people have it worse. Guess what? I can be doing a lot worse than this, where I remember back in the day that I used to live this way and I'm doing better than that. That is not an excuse to stay in a place where you feel like that you are oppressed, depressed, and stifled. I know many people who are taking medications every day to make it, just to be in an environment. And if you have to take medication, or you have to take something to stand, to kind of cover you so that you can make it and have the strength to be in a place, that's just not the place for you. Okay. Number 5 is you're just there for the paycheck. Again, there's a payoff there for you that's not connected to purpose. There is nothing that you are truly contributing towards in terms of your gifting and your talent. Maybe you have a minimal amount that you're contributing, but the big thing for you is the paycheck. Some people are truly getting paid well, but they are absolutely miserable. They absolutely are there just simply because they are sustaining their family, so they say, or they are just trying to, hold on to the benefits that they have. It could be health insurance, or you may be with a person and you may be receiving something from this person that you don't want to give up. Whatever that is, there is a payoff. I'm saying paycheck, but you just fill in the blank. There's something there that you're receiving in exchange that has nothing to do with purpose, and you are deciding to stay there even though the expiration date has come, even though you know that you're not really accomplishing much there, but just really getting a check or really getting what you have come to get. We are not called to live selfishly. We are called to be servant leaders. The philosophy of Refining Images is that every person is a leader. No matter if you have the title to go with that, I believe that influence is a marked definition of leadership. And every person has a sphere of influence. Unless you're living in some cage, you have someone whose eyes are on you. And because of that, it is up to us to make sure that we are involved in meaningful engagement in the places, in the spaces that we occupy. So if you're just there for a paycheck, I implore you to reconsider that you need to walk in faith and step out and to know that there is something greater, and you don't know what that next is. You have no idea if that pivot is going to bring double or triple or beyond what your expectations could imagine. If you would just say goodbye, put a period, close the chapter, and know that that paycheck is something that you're doing to sustain yourself. God wants us to be sustained by faith. And the last one that I have for this time that we have together is you are using less than your talent. Oh my goodness. I want you to imagine yourself as this vessel, and each and every day you wake up that God fills your vessel full of all of these amazing things that He wants you to do with yourself. You're using your gifting in this way. You have words of encouragement or whatever it is. You're just a full vessel, right? And your job is to get out there and to empty yourself. Before you come back home, you're to empty yourself of all of these amazing things that other people need from you. Well, if you are in an environment that you're not called to be in, okay, that you have, if it's expired, you're supposed to move on a long time ago, and you go into this environment and all you divvy out is 20% of what was poured into you. You come back home and guess what? You're pretty much still a full vessel, got 80% left, and you just say, well, I got to pour it out on the ground. I can't do anything with it. And you're wasting your talent. You're wasting your gifting. And I believe that this is something that is it's scary to believe of what you're wasting. It's scary to think about how much of yourself is going to waste because you refuse to get in the right environment. So I want to just say, think about how much of your talent, how much of your gifting are you actually using every day? Are you using 20%, 30%, 50%, or are you on the other side of that? If you're still using most of your talent and you're still connected and you're feeling that your job or your relationship or whatever you're doing connects with your being, then guess what? This is not for you. And I know you praise God for just being able to be in the right position. But I talk to many people who are not using not even half of what they have on the inside of them. You're denying your authentic self. You're denying how you were created and all of the amazing things that you have going on the inside of you. And so those things over time eventually gets buried. You even forget about the things about yourself that are amazing, that you can do, that has been nurtured in you over time. But because you're not using those things anymore, you're finding yourself, just not even tapping into that. And with that to me is a dangerous thing, because I believe that there are people who are attached to who we are. There are people who are set to receive what we have on the inside of us. And I believe one day that we will stand in judgment and we will have to answer for the individuals that we were supposed to help that we did not help because we were in the wrong place at the wrong time. That is the end of my 6 things that I want to share today. I want to invite you to log on or check me out on YouTube on Thursday, where I will drop the part 2, and you will receive the other 6 items to complete 12 in terms of is your assignment complete. Now, this is not an exhaustive list, of course. There are many other indicators that will let you know that it's time to go, but these are, to me, the strong ones, the ones that I hear most oftentimes that are letting me know that these individuals are preparing for something greater. Because guess what? When folks get to talking and I hear about all the things that they're dreaming about and all the things they are praying for and anticipating, I know that because of what they're experiencing right now, the transition, that it is time to go. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope you join me on the next video on Thursday.